So the reason I decided to talk about brain fog in today's video is because I literally related to it my whole entire life. Bro, ever since I could remember, I had terrible brain fog. Like ever since I was even a kid, in my math class, I was always at the bottom. I was always performing the worst because I had this brain fog. I couldn't think fast enough and I couldn't process information as much as like the high level students were performing at. And I know that someone like would really enjoy like a mini full guide, right? Of like no bullshit, cut straight to the fucking point guide to brain fog. Now, assuming that you already drink enough water, 3 liters a day, and you take your multivitamins every single day with the correct dosages, because most of these multivitamins are like micro-dosed for some reason. You're getting enough sleep, you're getting enough vitamin D and all that stuff, right, that you already know and you already should be doing. This video is about the things that you already know that you're already doing and they're not working. So the first one I want to get into, which is probably the most important one, which is fluoride. Now, there's about 50% of you guys that thinks fluoride is healthy and fluoride is unhealthy, and you already know like the damage of fluoride and what it does to your brain. For the people who think fluoride is healthy, I want you to take a closer look. I want you to go on Google or ChatGPT and type in the dangers of fluoride consumption. Now, the excuse that the government makes about adding fluoride to water is because it protects your teeth. It's healthy for your teeth, and that is true. It is healthy for your teeth. Now, I won't go like too deep into this because me talking about fluoride might get me into some trouble. So that is why I want you to research on your own. All I'm saying is that the studies do suggest that it causes brain fog. And I'm just a guy trying to inform you here. So just please don't kill the messenger, right? Go do the research on yourself. I know that getting a fluoride filter might get quite expensive. I'm aware of that. But this list goes along the lines of what's the most important, not what's the most expensive. So for the people who can afford a fluoride filter, you will benefit massively from getting a fluoride filter. But for the people who don't have that much money, the rest of the video is for you. The second thing I want to get into is dopamine regulation. Now, what do I mean by dopamine regulation? Some people know what dopamine is, and some people don't know what dopamine is. So I'll explain it very briefly. Dopamine is responsible for motivation. And if you overstimulate this receptor in your brain, which is called dopamine, you will go through a withdrawal period and you'll notice this intense brain fog, lack of motivation, and just feeling overwhelmed with everyday tasks. Dopamine regulation very much has helped me in the past. Anytime I feel unmotivated, anytime I feel like this rut in my life where I don't know what to do myself, it's probably because I've been doing too much pleasurable activities like watching entertainment, listening to too much music, not getting enough sleep. Yes, it impacts your dopamine. And pretty much all of the basics of health impact your dopamine. So take care of that. Probably the biggest thing that will help you with dopamine regulation is cutting out bad habits, which are smoking cigarettes, drinking alcohol, at least occasionally, right? Caffeine is fine because it doesn't increase your dopamine. So there's no, like many people think that there's a caffeine. You already know that pornography is bad for you, so you should quit that. Masturbation is fine, but at least do it without pornography, right? Now, I don't need to get into like taking drugs. You already know about this stuff, bro. Anything that increases your dopamine, that motivation chemical, you're going to need that to fuel your work. And if you're just wasting it on pleasurable activities, doing the work will actually feel harder, which is to no surprise, right? And this is kind of like this esoteric knowledge that I'm about to get into. Everybody knows that they get brain fog as soon as they wake up. Literally everybody goes through that, right? So how do you fix it? You get brain fog straight after you wake up because of adenosine. Remember when I just talked about caffeine and how if you drink caffeine in the wrong period of time within your day, you'll notice an increase in adenosine later on in the day, and that causes you to experience that crash or feeling sleepy, unmotivated, right? That is what adenosine is. It makes you feel tired. Now, the reason you feel brain fog as soon as you wake up is because of that high level of adenosine. Now, how do we decrease that adenosine in order to remove that brain fog, right? Our brain is stimulated through blue light, which is why the theme of this video is blue light. As soon as you wake up, you need to get blue light into your eyes. This is like an ancient practice, but it does work. Trust me. You'll notice that if you consume blue light later on into the day, mid-afternoon or even the nighttime, if you consume a lot of blue light, it's going to be way harder to fall asleep. You'll notice if you have an iPhone, if you haven't messed around with like the screen settings, you'll notice that at a certain time, you'll have a blue light filter which automatically turns on. Now, most people or some people turn that off as soon as it like turns on and they find it annoying. This is actually to protect your eyes in order to help you fall asleep. That is why you need blue light. Your iPhone knows it, you should know it too. Now, some of you have heard of the dangers. Some of you have heard of the keto diet. Now, why is the keto diet so effective? Why do people use it for weight loss and productivity? Now, some people who know at least a little bit about diet know that sugars create fat. The more carbohydrates and sugars you consume, the more of it gets stored into water weight or fat. That is why the keto diet is so effective, and that is why people use it to lose weight. But what is actually more fascinating about the keto diet is that it completely removes brain fog. Now, why does it do this? What is the difference between not being on a keto diet, eating carbohydrates, and being on a keto diet, staying under 50 grams of carbohydrates? You can do and you should do some research on your own about this because knowledge is power. I'm just giving you some advice here, but you should do this research on your own. Carbohydrates, or at least large amounts of carbohydrates, cause brain fog. And you'll notice this. Try this for yourself the next time you haven't ate any carbohydrates, no bread, no pasta, no sugar. Notice how you feel. Notice the brain fog that you don't have during the day. And as soon as you eat sweets, sugar, candy, or even if you have like bread or pasta, which are carbohydrates, you'll notice a slow increase in brain fog. Now, I'm not a scientist here. I can't really explain why this happens. That is why I tell you to go out there and research on your own. But carbohydrates are detrimental to your brain fog and your productivity. If there's absolutely anything that I've missed out in this video, and I know I haven't, I've pretty much covered most of it, let me know in the comment section, and maybe I'll do part 2. Thank you guys for watching. Men do not attract that which they want, but that which they are. And I'll see you in the next one.